Dan, I find the fact that you're actually making enough money to support yourself to be able to dive out of your education and continue your passions is actually amazing. Congratulations. Not many people get to do that. In fact, we're looking at probably only 1% in the world that can actually do that. It's funny because you remind me of Bill Gates for some odd reason. Of course, he used his own experience to actually create something, the same way that you're using your passion to create something as valuable and is not as powerful than he is. That said, in regards to your topical vids once a week, where you can give us a week to give you responses by Twitter, by email, by South Pole of the Moon, or by video responses, actually sounds like an engaging idea. In fact, I'm pretty sure that we'll all like it. We all watch your videos, and there's no age limit on who watches and who responds. This is the fun thing about this media. I just want to add a few things in regards to what you were saying about the open letter to educators. Now, I'm gonna try to cut it down to its meager points, but I do agree with you up to a point, because there's a lot of things that are left up in the air that need to be answered. Where are the schools going to get the money? Apart from private partnerships that are actually currently active, such as with universities or colleges in regards to research and development, there's not a lot of money that's being given by the government in regards to upgrading and keeping the technology for teaching up to the current mediatic standards that we're all living with in today's society. It would be nice to have teachers actually get into the now, but I'll tell you this by personal point of view. Both my parents are teachers, were my teachers. They're now retired. Secondary school teachers, where they actually taught either in high school or primary school, like my dad, where he taught in grade 9. He was teaching French and history. She was a secretary, and she decided to get her master's after going through God knows how many years of education to finish her teaching degree. Taught French, taught English, taught math, did lots of other things that were involved. And I'll tell you this, my mother did everything that an educator should do the right way. My dad followed the law of the land, which is doing what is required by protocol by the education boards that exist in each country, state, or province in my case. And even then, in Canadian provinces, the education is split up amongst various school boards. The curriculum is given by the government mostly, and they're all revamped and put up there, and they don't penalize teachers for being creative, being engaging in mediatic perspective with the students, but they don't reward teachers when they actually are engaging and when they create something unique. Teaching is like art, is like entertainment, is like anything. Unfortunately, if what you have in front of you is unappealing, unpalatable, dry, boring, very technical, and you're missing elements that make you interesting, or interested, I should say, because you're the one listening to the people trying to engage you, it won't stick with a lot of people for a long time. I know that a lot of people out there, me and myself included, are people that learn from experience, from passions that drive us. And the unfortunate downside to it is that today's society is not really engaged in that fashion unless you're giving it as volunteer hours or actually using it to power your own self by motivating yourself and actually engaging yourself with others. I would like to see any educational institution, be it a college, university, private, public, or whatever you could call it, be engaging by encouraging their teachers to be more creative. Mind you, it's not for the faint of heart. When you become creative, you drive yourself to extremes. and you may be working yourself on both ends, trying to reach out and be the best that you want it to be for your students. You may actually do bookmarkers. You may actually create little monogrammed silk kerchiefs, for all we know. You might actually personalize yourself to each student. Allow them to call you by your first name. Allow them to fraternize with you as a student of just more appeal in regards to the knowledge that you've gained, but also let them know that you're still learning and that you'll learn as well as they do, and teach what you know. Not many classrooms are equipped with technology, and technology only drives only the nail of entertainment so far. The rest has to be done by the person themselves. Unfortunately, you can use all the media in the world, and if you can't drive points or communicate well, you're lacking in that particular skill, which is a requirement in teaching. Patience is also a virtue, which unfortunately a lot of educators lack nowadays. That said, it is important to note that regardless of how big or small the actual elements are, once put together, they have, with hopefully the personality of the teacher acting as a catalyst, the proper equation of making sure that students get what they deserve. Out of university, college, and primary and secondary educators that I've met in my life, I can tell you that I can count in one hand, or in four fingers and a thumb, 4 digits, the amount of people that have made a difference in my life in regards to how education was perceived and how it was captured. It's very, very difficult, and I do encourage teachers and educators of all walks of life to become as creative as possible. Yes, it will steal away time from you and your family. Yes, it will steal away time from your activities. But it will make you a much better person for everyone involved, because you'll more comprehend what it means to actually put teaching into a higher level of excellence and actual drive for the people that want to learn. So, regardless of the mediatic standards that currently exist, it's still the basic message that needs to be done properly. As Dan put it at the beginning of his video, scripting is required. Unfortunately, teaching is also similar to theater as YouTube is for anything else. You do need to script everything that you're going to plan in advance in your head, on sheets, and guide yourself based on that and modify it when the time comes to modify it. And by that I don't mean that 10 years after the world is changing their perspective on it, that you should now go through your notes again, because you'll end up with a stack of notes that are about like this big and have to waste as much time, if not even more, redacting, revising, eliminating, changing, updating everything that you've put into play. Do it as your days go along. Don't wait. But that said, Dan, to you, who is actually more open than most in regards to how you actually vision everything, thank you so very much for doing this, and thank you so very much for opening a can of worms. Be it good or bad, it still drives debate, it still opens ears, opens minds, opens hearts, or does the complete reverse, depending on how a person's perspective and point of view is. Have a nice one.